When it comes to mobile gaming, there are a series of facts that continue to be mysterious and surprising to me. I think the general consensus, the prevailing wisdom, if you will, was that the fact that everyone has a powerful smartphone in their pocket would eventually kill off the need for a dedicated handheld gaming system. Somehow, the Nintendo Switch has proven that to be utterly false. Yes, tons of people play games on their phones. They're playing things like, I don't know, Candy Crush and Pokemon Go and things of this nature. But they're playing games, and a lot of people play games on their phones. A lot of people that you don't consider to be a gamer game on their phone. Your mom plays whatever, Candy Crush or whatever. But the Nintendo Switch has managed to be wildly successful as a portable, dedicated mobile gaming system. You know, the thought was that if you've got your phone in your pocket that can game, you're not going to also bring a game system with you. But Nintendo has proven that to be not the case. Nintendo's proven that there is still room for a gaming handheld in the world today, 2021. Another very surprising thing to me is the fact that Microsoft has never released a gaming handheld to compete with Nintendo. Obviously, Sony released the several iterations of the PSP, which I thought was a great handheld system. It was a really, really good console. Then they released the PlayStation Vita, which was also fantastic. Sony failed to support either one of them in a significant enough way. And despite the fact that the PSP actually sold like 70 million units or something like that, fact check me, I may have pulled that number out of my butt, but it sold well. They didn't really support the things. Piracy was a problem. The Vita had some problems, but they were both really good. Microsoft has not ever even tried. But kind of they have been trying here lately. And this is what's really, really fascinating to me. And there's a few angles I want to explore from here. So if you are a subscriber to Xbox Game Pass, you have the ability, potentially, to stream Xbox games directly to your mobile device of choice. In fact, if you open up the Game Pass app on your mobile device, in this case, a Surface Duo 2, you're able to click on Cloud, and there are not just plenty of games you can try, there are games that actually have dedicated controls on the screen, and they're set up so that touch is much better enabled, much more customized. And on Surface Duo, it's even better than it is on a normal phone. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Let's do Banjo-Kazooie. So when you start a game on a normal phone, just ignore this other screen. And this is pretty much the experience that you're going to get as it loads in. So on a normal phone, you can play like this. And like I said, you have customized controls here. So you don't have to worry about trying to mimic a proper controller on this touchscreen. It's all customized, and you can run around and you can jump and do whatever it is you're going to do. You can also rotate the thing like this so that now the controls are overlaid on top of what you're doing, which might be better in the sense that you can see more of what's going on, but it's worse because now you're touching all over the screen, and that's not good. That's terrible. But on Surface Duo, we've got more options than that. Let's open this thing back up, and now let's span this app and let's rotate it like that. And now we have a situation where what we have almost is something more akin to a Nintendo DS, where all of our controls are down here on the bottom. And this works really, really well. And like I said earlier, you can almost make the argument here that this is Microsoft's attempt at doing a gaming console. And of course, it's at its best here on Microsoft's hardware, Surface Duo, but this is something that you can kind of do, in the ways I showed you earlier, on any mobile device. And now to make things even better, you can get pretty much any old Bluetooth controller that you might have laying around. This one, I'll put a link in the description if you want to try it. But you can do this, and you can totally play this way as well if you really want to kick things up a notch and have a proper controller setup. And of course, let's take things a step or two further on Surface Duo by throwing the game up top and watching a video from your favorite YouTuber of choice on the other screen. And now you've got an experience that, if I'm being honest, might be better than a lot of the, potential gaming handhelds that you could play. The latency is relatively good, and you've got just an incredible amount of flexibility here with something like this. So the inherent difference between what Microsoft is doing and what Sony and Nintendo have done and had varying success with is Microsoft doesn't appear to be building a handheld gaming system as much as they are building a handheld gaming platform that anyone with any device can tap into. And that is the literal point of Xbox Game Pass, is that when you subscribe to Xbox Game Pass, you can take advantage of it either on your computer, your game console, your Xbox, or on your mobile device. So there's no barrier of entry. All you have to do is pay the $15 a month or whatever it is now, and you have access. And what's really interesting here is a bit of information coming from developer.microsoft.com. This article here talking about two developers putting these touch controls, these custom touch controls in your Xbox games. And keep in mind, there are a ton of games that are already compatible, just like I just showed you with Banjo-Kazooie. That's a retro game. Tons of modern games that are already compatible with this. And they're actually citing that 20% of Xbox cloud gaming users use touch as their exclusive method playing games. You can use a controller like I showed you. You can use an Xbox controller if you want to go that route on your mobile device. There's controller holders that you've got your Xbox controller and it'll hold your phone up like that. Obviously, Duo is a little bit different, but there's many methods to do this, but people are using those touch controls. And if you're a Duo user, it's really good on Duo. And they've also seen a 2 times increase in usage for titles that have those custom touch controls. People play Minecraft Dungeons and things like that on the go, and they're really seeming to enjoy it way more than I thought that they actually would. So you could argue that Microsoft is making a mobile gaming platform, and you could potentially argue that it is at its best on Surface Duo. I would probably make that argument. I don't think you've got a mobile gaming experience that can touch Surface Duo in the sense that the performance is very good. When you're using Game Pass streaming, obviously it's the same as anything else, it's fine, but you have a second screen to either map your controls to or to do something else while you're gaming. That's just an insane amount of usability and flexibility. But we also now have some additional curious information here coming from Windows Central. Now, this is a developer kit sort of thing. So this is not something you're going to be able to go buy right now, but it's very, very interesting. And it opens up a whole nother door for Microsoft in terms of mobile gaming. Basically, Qualcomm has unveiled a new chip called the Snapdragon G3X, and this thing is meant to be used specifically in gaming applications. It's got lots of cool features like the Nintendo Switch has, put it in a dock and display on your TV, cooling fans, 144 FPS gaming, which is something that the Switch does not have. Basically, it looks like a pretty top-of-the-line gaming processor, but something that they're touting here, let's scroll down and find it here, is Xbox Cloud Gaming. So this thing's going to run Android. So you've got this Snapdragon chip. Anyone like Razer, think of this as like a prototype, an example. Razer saying, hey, you could build this. It's got an Xbox controller built around this. Looks like a Nintendo Switch Lite or a Steam Deck, but of course it runs Android. So you've got open to all the Android things you could do, all the Android games that are native. You could touchscreen games if you want, but games that could map controls to a controller, emulators would be really good. But then you've got Xbox Cloud Gaming, and now rather than having your Duo and your controller you could attach to it, you have something that is a pre-built. It's already all together like that and ready to go. And this controllers are probably going to be better than you're going to get on something like this. And of course, you're not just stuck with Xbox gaming. You could stream from your console. You could stream from your PC using something like Moonlight. All these things are compatible with Android. They mentioned down here that Windows Central has heard Microsoft has been dabbling with Xbox handheld prototypes for some time. Something like this Qualcomm platform may be the family of technologies Microsoft needs to really give it serious consideration. And I think this is really, really interesting because what I don't think we're going to see, as much as I would love to see an Xbox handheld, I don't think we ever are, because I think we already have an Xbox handheld and we already have an Xbox handheld, and we already have an Xbox handheld. I think this already exists, but then what you're going to get potentially is a new influx of Android gaming systems that will also be de facto Xbox handhelds. So what I want to know from you guys that own Surface Duo or Surface Duo 2, what do you think about this? Do you use Xbox Game Pass? Is this something that you knew about? Are you using it with the controls here in the game up there? Are you attaching a controller to it? I'd love to know how you game on your Surface Duo. Do you agree with me that Surface Duo is a very expensive, granted, Xbox gaming handheld system? Are you on board with what I'm saying in that regard? What do you think about a proper dedicated Xbox handheld like a Nintendo Switch? Do you want to see it be Android and rely on streaming, or would you like to see them do something different? Personally, I think this is if it's going to happen, Game Pass is all they want you to have. Microsoft doesn't care if you ever buy another Xbox again. They just want you to subscribe to Game Pass. This is what makes sense to me, but I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Guys, thanks as always for making it to the end of today's video. Sound off in the comments down below, but all the stuff I've just asked you about, I'm really curious to see some answers down there. Stay tuned for more coverage just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.